If I had to summarize myself with two of my interests, it would be K-pop and dolls. So when Mattel announced that they're doing a line of BTS dolls, I just about like lost it because that was like a dream come true for me. But when the final pictures came out, I seem to be one of the few people who was still really excited about these dolls and impressed by the skill that Mattel's artists put into this doll. And as I kind of read the comments that people were making, I realized it's because a lot of people don't understand how dolls are made, specifically the dolls that Mattel makes. So this is just going to be a brief overview for why Mattel's dolls are actually very beautiful and very skillful, given the limitations that they're working within. The first thing we really need to talk about before we go deeper is there's two kind of main types of dolls that everything fall under: made-to-play dolls and art dolls. Art dolls are going to be the ones that you see online that are just beautifully sculpted faces. They've got like glass or resin eyes that just got this beautiful spark of life to them that you don't really see with printed eyes. And like they're probably fully articulated, like they might have some articulated fingers, and their outfit is going to be intricately made, probably like a couple of different types of fabric, and just overall it's going to be just stunning work. Made-to-play dolls are going to be the ones that we've all probably dealt with in our life. Like, those are going to be Barbies, Bratz, Monster High, Ever After High, American Girl. Those are toys that are meant for kids. Above all else, they're meant to be durable. They probably have very strong hair so that a kid can braid it, rebraid it, and the outfits are probably going to be probably more of like I guess like a polyester or something really durable, and the stitching is going to be so that it's difficult to rip the fabric so that a kid can handle it without concern of damaging the clothes. That's my doggo again. Now, Mattel specializes in made-to-play dolls. Barbie, Ever After High, Monster High, American Girl, those are all made by Mattel. So for me, I looked at these teasers with the knowledge of what Mattel is capable of, namely the absolutely gorgeous sculpting that they do on Monster High dolls and the realism that they put into Barbies. I knew we weren't going to get something incredibly lifelike because I was aware of the challenges that Mattel was going to face going into this. I knew going into this that the biggest challenge for Mattel would be the hair. There's 3 different ways that you can add hair to a doll. The first one would be sculpting, which is what Hasbro did with the One Direction dolls. And to this day, people still make fun of the sculpted hair, especially on Harry Styles. So honestly, that wasn't even really an option for Mattel if they wanted to do these dolls right. Another option would be if they made a wig for the doll. Wigs are uncommon in made-to-play dolls for 2 main reasons. They're not very durable, they can fall apart fairly easily, and they're another part for kids to lose. With made-to-play dolls, you have to keep that in mind, and you have to try to restrict the number of pieces that a child can lose. Monster High was a little bit of an interesting exception because they valued the fashion pretty highly, so the hands and the legs did come off, but that often meant kids did lose those parts. Given that these are dolls that were styled specifically for the stylings of BTS's Idol music video, and they weren't intended to like take off the hair and put the hair back on again, it really wouldn't make sense for them to make a wig for this doll. It's also a lot more expensive to manufacture, and it's important that these made-to-play dolls are affordable for kids to play with, because that is the primary audience that these dolls are for. That leaves Mattel with really only one option: rooted hair. Rooted hair is like what you see with Barbie and Monster High. What you do to get that is you take maybe 10 to 20 at most strands of hair, and you use a special needle to poke a hole in the head and leave those hair in that hole, and you later go in and glue that hair in from the inside normally through the neck. Making dolls sounds really horrifying. I'm sorry, you guys. You do this in rows along the head, and then you do it thicker along the part and along the hairline so that it's difficult to see the scalp, because there will be spaces where you can see that plastic. And to kind of combat that lack of realism, people tend to paint the scalp so it's a little less noticeable. Now, if you, when rerooting, you make the rows too close together, you run the risk of the hair being much too thick and making it difficult to make the hair lie flat. Or if you make the holes too close together, you run the risk of accidentally splitting the scalp so that it's no longer one head and you've got a big old crack in the head. Rerooting isn't an ideal technique for short-haired doll because when you cut the hair short, you'll see the plugs of the hair as well as that painted scalp. And the hair is just gonna stick straight up like that baby doll spider thing from Toy Story. That's just what it's gonna look like, you guys. There's very little ways to avoid that, except for glue. For short-haired dolls, glue is basically hair gel. And that's why those BTS dolls' hairs look so damn crunchy. There is so much glue in that hair to make it stay down and not make them look like a little pokey plant. Like, it's ridiculous. And I will be super honest with you, you guys. I would much rather have a crunchy, gluey boy than a sculpted Harry Styles 2.0. And honestly, if you just ignore the hair, the dolls are genuinely beautiful. I can't think of another doll I've seen other than Namjoon's that has a dimple in the cheek. And they got Hoseok's cheeks right. Like, I was so worried about that, but they're there and they're so cute. And hair is honestly one of the easiest things to fix about a doll. There's a lot of really awesome YouTubers out there that have made tutorials. So if you want to fix the hair on the dolls, honestly, I would just go and make a yarn wig. There's a couple of different YouTubers I really love. Here's a couple of little recommendations. Go give them a smooch of love. Go watch their stuff and learn how to make your dolls a little bit more custom. So you can make your doll, like, if you want an Auguste doll, go for it. You want yourself a Hope World? Live your best life. There are a couple of doll artists out there who have made gorgeous art BTS dolls, and I know for some people who didn't know the difference between a made-to-play doll and an art doll, they were expecting the BTS dolls to look more like that, and I just kind of wanted to touch on why Mattel couldn't go down the art doll route. There's two main doll artists that a lot of armies have been looking at when it comes to BTS dolls. Distant Memory, and they go by the Instagram handle author0509, and I understand why people are looking at them. Their dolls are so gorgeous. I would love to have them so much, but I can't afford them. To put this into perspective for you, Distant Memory actually did sell both the doll body and head and just the head by itself on their website. If you just wanted the head and the body, it was 720,000 won, which is about 540 US dollars. And if you just wanted the head alone, it was 1,500 won, or $131 roughly. And I want to emphasize, for people who might not have done anything with ball joint dolls before, that is just the head and that is just the body. There are no eyes, there are no clothes, there are no hair, there is no makeup on their face. Those are things you have to buy separately. So, though the doll is only $500, the dolls are going to be another $20 to $30. The outfits, probably another $100. The makeup, $50 to $100, depending on the artist you talk to. These all add up, and it's going to be probably closer to $1,000 for that doll. I do also know that the other artist has opened up a shop called BJD Idol, and they're planning on opening up like a pre-order for their dolls like mid-April. Their pricing will probably be around the same that Distant Memories was. So like, if you've got that money, awesome. Go give them a smooch. Heads up, when you order a ball joint doll, you normally don't get it for a year. But if you've got the money and the patience, go support them. I would really love to see them be very well supported. But yeah, long story short, Mattel wanted to make a doll that everyone could make. Dolls do have limitations, especially when they are meant for kids. Keep that in mind. This is a $20 doll meant for kids, you guys. And artists are amazing and dolls for art are amazing, but they are expensive, and Mattel really just wanted to make something everyone can enjoy. I hope you guys have a super awesome day, and thank you for letting me just ramble about something I'm passionate about that's not K-pop. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Keep it poppin'!